Alright, so in this video, guys, we're going to be talking about supplements that can be used in order to increase energy levels, or at the very least, the subjective feelings of energy, as well as the more objective parameters of cellular energy output. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump in. Now, whenever I do a video like this, I always think it's super important for me to give one massive caveat, and that is that none of these supplements are absolutely necessary.
I didn't understand a one word you said.
A lot of the supplements that are going to be on this list today are simply nutrients that you can get and prioritize through your diet and should be the primary mode through which you consume these nutrients. However, there are some nutrients on this list, or rather supplements, that you can't get through your diet, which we'll talk about later on in this video, and can be beneficial to supplement with at certain periods of time. However, the vast majority of what we're going to talk about today are simply nutrients that you can get through your diet. So yes, supplementing with them can provide a more immediate benefit that you might be looking for, but the more sustainable approach by far is to simply prioritize these nutrients through dietary consumption. Now, I want to start off this list by listing a supplement that may not be the most sexy supplement in the world, but seems to be by far the most important supplement when it comes to optimizing overall energy levels, and that is a multivitamin. Now, the research on the link between multivitamins and energy levels is fairly mixed, which is pretty interesting and likely has to do with the methodologies of these various studies. However, there are a handful of trials that do in fact show that a multivitamin can improve subjective feelings of mood, objective parameters of cognitive performance, as well as mitigating some parameters of stress. And so even though there isn't any direct research to indicate that a multivitamin would increase energy levels, it is worth noting that energy levels are pretty hard to determine in a clinical setting, and so you kind of have to go off of the secondary markers of mood and cognitive performance and things of that nature. Now, the most likely reason that a multivitamin can increase subjective feelings of energy as well as improve cognitive performance and mood is because of the B vitamins that are typically found in a multivitamin. Now, B vitamins have a very direct role in taking food products that you are consuming and turning them into their most basic form of energy, which is ATP in the body. And they're involved in this process in a very intimate way and at a very molecular level, and are absolutely essential for the process of turning food into energy. And now, even though B vitamins do appear to be the most directly linked vitamins to energy production in the body and improving subjective parameters of energy levels, there are also a handful of other vitamins and minerals that are found in multivitamins that do have at least secondary mechanisms involved in the production of energy that are also contributing to the fact that multivitamins can in fact improve subjective parameters of energy levels as well as objective outputs of energy at a cellular level. Now, when looking for a well-formulated multivitamin, there are a couple of things to keep in mind here. One is that you do want to be looking for active forms of vitamins in your multivitamin and not synthetic forms. And unless you know exactly what you're looking for, it might be a little bit difficult to point this out. However, the main things that you want to be looking for are that, one, the B vitamins, specifically B6, B9, and B12, are in their methylated forms and not in their synthetic forms, which I'll show here on the screen. But you also want to make sure that the vitamin A and vitamin E are also in their more natural and bioavailable forms, namely retinol and alpha tocopherol. Now, the reason for this is that many of the synthetically produced vitamins, yes, technically have the same metabolic capacity as their more natural counterparts. However, they do have a different molecular structure, which means that it's more difficult for your body to recognize what they are and to metabolize them, which sometimes can cause a backlog of these vitamins and cause toxicity in extreme cases. And then the second thing to look out for when trying to choose a properly formulated multivitamin is that you want to make sure that you're not buying something that is hyperdosing any of the ingredient. There's absolutely no reason that you need 20,000 times of your daily value of vitamin B12. It is far more proper and accurate to just simply take a multivitamin that has the daily value that you need need the RDA, 100% of the RDA, or even less, because it is likely that you're getting some of these vitamins and minerals through your diet. And so you just simply don't need hyperdosed multivitamins, and in extreme circumstances can actually cause some side effects. So definitely stay away from hyperdosed multivitamins, and if you can, find one that is properly dosed so that you're not overdosing on vitamins. Now, the second foundational supplement that I would like to include on this list, again, isn't a super sexy supplement, but that is an electrolyte supplement. A supplement that would include things like sodium, potassium chloride, and magnesium. Now, in a clinical settings, electrolyte supplements have been shown to improve parameters like mood and cognitive and physical performance, especially in conditions where the individual is losing sweat and losing electrolytes through their sweat. And there are several reasons for this. One is that electrolytes are absolutely essential as an osmoregulator. This means that they are essential at regulating fluid balance in the body, and when you don't have proper fluid balance, it's really difficult, especially in regards to physical performance, to maintain that physical performance. And so by adding an electrolyte supplement into your diet, or simply just adding more electrolytes into your diet. It doesn't even have to be a supplement. Adding more salt, eating more fruit that contains potassium, prioritizing foods that have a lot of magnesium in them can improve osmoregulation and hydration, secondarily improving proper energy production. And then the second reason that electrolytes can improve subjective feelings of energy levels is because they are directly involved in the stimulation of nerves. They literally carry the action potential, the electrical communication between neurons, and without proper electrolyte intake, your neurons literally cannot communicate to each other and cannot carry energy from one neuron to another. And then the third reason that electrolytes are so important for overall energy levels is because of their role in neurotransmission. They also are responsible for the communication and the production of neurotransmitters that kind of provide that subjective experience of increased alertness and increased energy levels. And now, again, you can simply just increase your salt intake, optimize your fruit intake as well as your fish intake to get more sodium, potassium, magnesium, and chloride. However, a far more simple way to do this is with our video sponsor today, LMNT. Now, I for one am somebody who likes to prioritize my nutrient intake through food consumption. However, I must say that LMNT is just one of those supplements that is too convenient and, to be quite frank, too tasty to pass up. Taking LMNT to the gym specifically is one of the more convenient ways to replenish electrolytes while I'm at the gym, and there's really no other way to do this aside from taking some sort of supplement. LMNT is a perfectly proportioned electrolyte mix of sodium, potassium, and magnesium that makes it extremely easy to help meet your electrolyte needs, which is why I can't more highly recommend my friends over at LMNT. And what's more is that they're currently offering you guys a free sample pack of LMNT with any purchase. And so if you're interested in something like this, make sure to check out the link down below or go to drinkelement.com/nutrition library. Now, the next supplement on our list today, again, isn't super sexy, but that is fish oil. And now fish oil has been shown in a clinical setting to again improve parameters such as cognitive function and mood, and is actually one of the most studied compounds in regards to cognitive performance and mood. Now, the primary means by which fish oil appears to improve energy levels is because of the EPA and DHA content of fish oil that has a potent ability to suppress inflammation. Now, inflammation is bad in regards to energy levels because inflammation suppresses the function of neurons, which also subsequently suppresses the output of neurotransmitters that kind of give you the subjective feelings of energy. Now, fish oil can also fairly potently increase the fluidity of cell membranes, specifically nerve cells, but it also has that same effect on pretty much every cell in the body, which is going to improve the communication of the cellular structures in the body, as well as improve the hormonal response of cells as well. But it also appears to have a potent effect of improving mitochondrial function as well. And so fish oil is one of those foundational supplements that you should consider taking if you're not consuming a lot of fish, just because it has a ton of EPA and a ton of DHA that are literally essential nutrients for the human body, and if you do not get them, there is going to be a detrimental effect on cognitive performance, on mood, as well as energy levels. Now, another nutritive supplement that's worth considering when trying to optimize energy output and the subjective perception of increases in energy is creatine. And now, like fish oil, creatine is just one of those supplements that is extremely studied, and it's been very well studied in regards to increases in muscle mass and increases in muscular output. However, it has also been shown to not just delay physical fatigue, but also mental fatigue. And the reason for this is that creatine is especially potent at improving the production of ATP at the cellular level. And because of this, can provide kind of like a buffer in regards to reducing the subjective experience and subjective parameters of fatigue. Now, creatine, through one mechanism or another, is also involved with the production of glutamate and dopamine in the central nervous system, which are neurotransmitters that are stimulating in nature and can provide you with a sense of motivation, as well as just an increase in the perception of energy levels. And because of this, because of the subjective experience of taking creatine, as well as the objective measurements of it increasing cellular energy output, creatine is also one of the better options when it comes to foundational supplements to increase overall energy output. Now, while we're on the topic of neurotransmitters, specifically dopamine, it is worth mentioning another nutritive supplement here, and that is tyrosine or phenylalanine. And the reason for this is that these are amino acids that are directly involved in the production. They are direct precursors to dopamine. And because dopamine is such a potent motivator, it is literally one of the most potent neurotransmitters in the central nervous system when it comes to the perception of energy levels. Because of this, supplementing with L-tyrosine or L-phenylalanine can increase dopamine levels in the central nervous system, and in a clinical setting has been shown to delay the onset of fatigue and increase the subjective parameters of an increase in energy levels. Now, aside from these more nutritive supplements, there are a class of medicinal supplements that you can also take in order to increase the perception of energy output. And to be quite frank, these are far more potent than all the other supplements that I have previously listed. However, because of their medicinal nature and their need to be cycled and their various other downsides, I do like to consider them kind of like lower tier options as opposed to the more nutritive supplements that actually provide your body with the substrates that it needs to produce energy. Now, the first class of medicinal supplements that I want to talk about here are simply stimulants, and these would be things like caffeine, theobromine, which is found in chocolate, as well as theophylline, which is found in tea, as well as some lesser known stimulants like dynamine, teacrine, and N-phenyl dimethylamine. Now, these are all compounds, stimulating compounds that are found in various plants throughout the world, and their general action in the body is to literally stimulate or force the production of neurotransmitters. Catecholamine neurotransmitters such as dopamine and epinephrine and norepinephrine can have a dramatic impact on alertness and focus and energy production. And because of this, because stimulants force the production of these catecholamine neurotransmitters, they also kind of force energy production and kind of force the perception of increases in energy output. Now, because stimulants do force the output of dopamine, epinephrine, and norepinephrine into the synapses of neurons, they are extremely potent at increasing focus and attention and pretty much every cognitive parameter that you can think of, including energy output. However, because of this, they're also very addictive. And so it's extremely important to weigh the pros and cons of using stimulants. Yes, they're helpful in certain circumstances, but they also have a lot of downsides to them as well, which is why I don't typically talk about them. But aside from stimulants, there's also a class of molecules known as adaptogens that can also improve subjective parameters of energy levels. Now, this class of supplements would include things like rhodiola rosea, as well as panax ginseng, Siberian ginseng, shilajit, cordyceps mushroom, mucuna pruriens, as well as many others. Now, most of these have varying levels of evidence to support their use, and a lot of them do have practical use cases, but most of them work by simply reducing stress parameters. Because stress does such a potent job of draining the body of its resources, if you can dampen the stress response, it actually down the road improves subjective feelings of energy levels, and that's what adaptogens appear to be so effective at, dampening the stimulation caused by stress, so that down the road you can have more energy levels. And now some of these do have a more immediate effect, whereby they increase various neurotransmitters that can immediately increase the subjective parameters of energy levels, but most of them work simply over time by dampening the stress response, so that down the road you have more energy. Now, this is by no means an exhaustive list of supplements that can be used to increase energy levels. However, these are some of the more promising supplements that can be integrated easily into either your diet or into your supplementation protocol in order to increase energy output, not just in the short term, but over the long term as well, and is the reason why I put this list together. Now, if you guys have any questions in regards to anything that was stated in this video, make sure to leave a comment down below. And if you feel like you need help prioritizing some of these nutrients into your diet, or help structuring an overall dietary and supplementation protocol specific to your personal needs, also make sure to check out the link below for an application to one-on-one coaching as well. But other than that, guys, I do think I will see you guys next time.